What is up, YouTube? It's Grinch, and in front of me I have the brand new for October of 2022 Neytiri and Thanator versus AMP suit Quaritch, and we're gonna do a quick review of it. This set has a bit of a mouthful of a name. Again, it's Neytiri and Thanator versus AMP suit Quaritch. This set has 560 pieces, 2 minifigures, and it retails for $45 US. Let's start by taking a closer look at the minifigures. So here are the 2 minifigures that are included in this set. You can see we get an excellent exclusive Neytiri with some really nice face printing, and that's also mimicked throughout the torso print as well. And then just kind of her battle dress here, her battle ready armor, and then her leg prints are ones that we've actually seen before in a lot of the other avatars that came in this set, so that's nothing special. But really this torso print and this face print really make the minifigure for me. Just another excellent minifigure. If this is the first time that you're looking at these Avatar minifigures, just know that they're some of the first Lego minifigures with actual ears that are built into the hair, into the headpiece there. They use 3 long legs, so the legs are actually 1 brick taller than your typical minifigure leg. You can see that here. The arms are much longer as well to make it a little bit more proportional. You can see how much longer that arm is there, and the torso is the same. The head has also got this little chin line as chiseled, which is kind of cool, and I like the detail. I know it's not really necessary for them to do that, and they probably could have just used regular minifigure heads, but I really like that detail there. The head itself is actually also a little bit taller than a regular minifigure head too. So this all looks really, really good. The back of the hair you can see is just that same Neytiri hairpiece from the other Avatar sets that we've gotten. It's got that dreaded look, and then there is that little kuru or place where they can connect and make their neural connection to the animals in Pandora. I'm gonna go ahead and take off her hairpiece. Obviously there's no alternative face here. That would look kind of funky because they have the ears up here, so the ears would be facing the other way. But you can see there's a nice back printing here as well. Really like all the details they've been able to capture in these minifigures. You can see kind of those metallic little speckles that are on the body too. Those look really good. And then this is simply the CMF Speedy Gonzales tail that's been recolored in a light blue. Over here is Colonel Quaritch, and he looks really, really good. I love his facial expression. It just captures that character so well. Great hairpiece too. And then what I think is really cool is you actually get some like army BDUs here and army camouflage, and that just looks really, really excellent. And that's something that I think this might be a first for Lego. I don't think Lego's ever really come out, or they haven't come out a lot with these camouflage pieces like this. I know you can get some custom ones, but this might be the first official Lego camouflage piece. That all looks really, really good. You can see there's just a little bit of a metallic sheen there too. That looks great. You can see on the face here there's some nice scar details too, because he was all cut up in the movie. I think what would have really made this minifigure next level would have been to include some scars on the arms here, but that's just, you know, that's just me being greedy. Otherwise, you can see the back, that camo print continues. That all looks really, really excellent. I'm sure custom builders are going to love this minifigure for years to come. Obviously, there is no alternative face here because you would be able to see it and that would look awkward. So great minifigure selection so far. I do wish there was one more minifigure in this set, but I'll get to that in the end with my final thoughts. So this is what's known in universe as a Thanator, and it's a kind of panther-y looking creature that has 6 legs, and you were able to see Lego was able to capture all 6 legs here. These front 2 move together on this ball joint. They do not move separately. However, you can move them separately or independently on that ball joint. So that whole ball joint moves the entire thing, and then you can move them individually, which is really needed because that allows you to kind of get some cool poses with this guy that you wouldn't have been able to otherwise. And overall, I really was kind of pleasantly surprised with this build. You can see it's got this really nice molded head here, well, with some nice detailed prints on the front. That looks great. I'm really glad they decided to mold the head because they just wouldn't have been able to get this detail with standard Lego bricks. This does rotate, this does turn around, that all looks good. And then you can close and open that mouth just like you'd want to. That's all great. This build really reminds me of the Fenris Wolf from the Thor Ragnarok set, but much better.
Bruh.
The shaping of the legs is just better, but it does use kind of a similar body slash build style, but it's not the exact same thing. Don't worry. I think this is a much better and more accurate way of building these brick built creatures, especially with this head. So I do think this is a much better version of that Fenris Wolf from the Thor sets that it was out in 2017. Otherwise, on this creature, you've got the brand new piece here. This is for the neural connection that the avatar, the Navi, can make with the actual different species within the world. Around the back here, you can see there's a nice little tail for detail. There's two more legs back here. Again, these move on the main body right here. You can move that up and down, and then they can also be moved from the thigh there, and then the claws here can also be moved. So you can get a lot of movement out of this. You can get a lot of different poses. I will say it's just a little bit awkward because there's 6 legs. That's no fault of Lego. Obviously, they're just trying to stick as true as possible to the source material, which they've done. I think they've done a great job with it overall, but you can see it just kind of, you've got 6 legs to have to manipulate here, which just can kind of make play a little bit difficult with it. But once you get in a nice position, it sure does look really, really good in my opinion. Let me show you how this connection works really quickly. See, you take your avatar minifigure, your Navi minifigure, it's got that little connection point on there. You can hook them up to the back here of their hair, just like that, and then you can stick them on this little seat right there and then stand them up like that. So that looks pretty proper, just like it should. It does look a little bit awkward in this case where their legs are sticking out behind them like that. They really should be straight down, but more of a fault of the system than anything. They would have just taken so many pieces to be able to fix that. So all good there, just a little bit of a nitpick for me. Overall though, really like this. This is a great little build, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. It does definitely look better in person, and was a better experience than I initially thought when I was looking at it on the box. So this is Colonel Quaritch's AMP or AMP suit. It's a mech build, and it's definitely a highlight of the set. You can see here it uses a nice sand green color and is true to the movie itself. I really like just the tiny details that you get on the side here with stickers. I mean, that's just really, really great. Those go on both sides here too. You get another little detail in the back there. But overall, really, really pleased with this mech build. You can see he's got kind of a saw blade accessory here, and then a large oversized, or what's supposed to be kind of an oversized sword that's here, just using one of those orc sword pieces attached to a telescope piece. But he's got some nice fingers here. He's got full mobility there, full mobility in the arms as well. It doesn't go any further than this towards the body. That's okay, but you can rotate this around, get a few different angles in it. It just uses these mixel style ball joints, which is quite common with the mech build. Same thing on this side. Some really nice details here though too. Around the back, you can see they just continued to capture the details with this mech. It all looks really, really good. No complaints from me here. When you open up the cockpit, which just looks so proper for what it's, the source material in the movie, you can see there's a nice little seat here with some stickering details, and then a little console piece that also has another sticker on it as well. That all looks great, and the minifigure simply just fits in here. There's no actual studs in there, so he just sits in there really, really nicely, which is fine. He doesn't really need studs in there. He's in here. He will not really fall out if you do this, so no studs needed there. So that looks good. That looks great, just like that. Really, really proper, really accurate Lego build here. One thing I will say is the feet. These do move forward and back and a little bit out to the side, and then this foot right here also moves, but this knee does not move at all. It uses that kind of prefabricated bent piece to get that shaping. That's okay. I think that's just a stability play. Otherwise, this thing would just be falling over itself because it is kind of weighted awkwardly. So totally necessary, totally get it, but you will be kind of stuck with this shaping right here. Do like the feet. The feet look pretty proper. It's nice to get these ingot pieces in sand green as well. So definitely a sand greens lover of a mech right here. This looks really good, and I have no overall complaints about it. Maybe if I'm nitpicking, just a little bit of lack of mobility there, but totally understandable. And I'd much rather this thing stand up on its own than fall over and have to fight it just to get a little bit extra mobility. So for me, really, really good design for a mech. The last piece of build here is a nice little terrain structure, and this is one of the better just little side terrain builds in my opinion. You can see again there's connection points on all of this, so you can get it connected. And if you've seen my other videos, yes, I'll show you the glow in the dark here in a moment, but there are some more of the minion crown pieces in glow in the dark. But also, more importantly, there's the carrot top piece. So if you combine that piece now with the carrots from the other avatar set, the floating island avatar set, you actually have a total glow in the dark carrot, which is really cool. Time to make some radioactive carrots, everyone. But you can see here just some nice floral detailing here, a nice little kind of different build for the flowers, and then another flower build here. And then this uses the old moon rock pieces or rock pieces from back in the day from Lego, and then it just uses a flower stem on the inside of there. So that all looks really good. I love all the colors here. It definitely pops too. And then right here you can see they use the superhero from the DC CMF series, where they had the little superhero stands. They use that piece in a dark blue to kind of get these just different angles around. From the back, you see the back of it. It's not meant to be displayed from back here, so I won't really focus too much on that, but just wanted to show you it from every single angle. This one flower piece right here, it does fall off pretty easily. It's just connected by the little balloon piece here in red, so not a complaint, but just something to watch out for as you're moving this. It does fall apart quite easily. And then last thing to point out is right here, this little flower. It's actually suggested that you take the Thanator and you just stick him right here like this to kind of make him look like he is jumping over the flowers. It's okay, it doesn't work. I think they were doing that because in all the other sets they have you hook up like the helicopter and then the banshees, and you can see it's just kind of awkward to connect him here. He's just got so many legs, and you start to knock stuff off. So you finally get it, and then when you get him like this, it doesn't quite look that good in my opinion. So a little bit more of just kind of, I think, trying to keep the similarities between the sets there, but that is intended for the Thanator to just stand on that just like that. So here's what this terrain build looks like in the dark. As you can see, it's got those minion crowns. Those look pretty good. And then that little carrot top in the background, that all looks pretty good. It does start to fade after a little while, of course, but just a little bit of a gimmick. It works fine, but nothing too crazy exciting. And after all, how many times are you actually like playing with Lego in the dark? And you do have to trigger this to happen, right? So overall, looks kind of cool, and I'll have to put all these together and see what all of the terrain builds look like in the dark. But just wanted to show that for anybody that's interested. So overall, I really actually enjoyed this set a little bit more than I actually thought I would. It was one of my least favorite sets in the Avatar wave until I built it and built the other sets, and now I want to say it's definitely one of the better ones in the wave for sure. It's gonna be hard to kind of rank all these Avatar sets, but for me, I have to say here, the building experience is gonna be a 4 out of 5 for me. The mech is great, definitely a really good build for the mech. The Thanator is a great build as well, but there's just nothing crazy special here. We get a lot of Lego mechs. It's really cool to get this one. We get a lot of Lego brick built animals, so pretty standard building experience. I did really like building all of the flora in the background. I thought that was fun and just different to do more of a terrain build in Lego. For playability, I have to give it a 4 out of 5. It's got a lot going on with it. You've kind of got a good guy and you got a bad guy here that you can kind of play with, and the mech is really nice and the Thanator is really nice, so you can kind of reenact a really cool scene at the end of the movie. But the Thanator is a little bit difficult to move with his arms. It just doesn't, you move one of them and you accidentally move another, so it's a little bit hard to kind of get in position. I mean, you can see I was just struggling to get it on that little stand in the video, and I did that intentionally because that's the reality of this set. It is a little bit of a struggle to kind of position him in the perfect way, because you knock one of the legs and you knock them all. So I think people might struggle with that with the playability, but overall, a very playable set, really, really good. Just a nitpick there from me. Displayability, I think this is really great. This mech just looks really, really proper, really, really detailed for what it is. The Thanator looks really, really good. Like I said, I think it's an updated version or an upgraded version to the Fenris Wolf that Lego did back for the Thor movie. Minifigure selection is great. I gave that a 4.5 out of 5. Same thing with the display ability, but for the minifigures, I really, really like the Colonel Quaritch here, and then the Neytiri minifigure that's excluded. That's included. You get another exclusive Neytiri, and then that Colonel Quaritch minifigure is great. I just kind of wish there was maybe one more minifigure here for me to really kind of cap this out. But what is here for minifigures is quite excellent. And then lastly, for value for the money, I gotta give it a 4 out of 5 for that. I mean, it's got a great price to part ratio, but that's not everything, right? It's 560 pieces for $45. I definitely wouldn't want it any more expensive, but there are a lot of small pieces that go into it. I mean, there's at least 20 of the little claw pieces, right? So when you start looking at it, there's just a ton of small pieces. So I think $45 is a fair price for this. I wouldn't want to see it any more expensive, but I'm definitely, totally content with that price here. So overall, that leaves this set to a 4.2 out of 5, which is pretty darn good if you ask me. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and joining in the conversation in the comment section below or overall on Discord. Link in the description for my Discord channel. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.